Hi everyone, and welcome to the KubeVirt community meeting for the 7th of May 2025. For anybody attending, I'm going to put in the meeting notes into the chat here so you can add your attendance to the meeting notes, please. And while you're doing that, is there anybody new on the call that would like to introduce themselves? No, okay, I recognize all the names in the attendees, so I think we don't have anybody new today. So going to move on to the scheduled check-in for the release 1.6. So we're 7th of May. So the next stage for us is to move the 1.33 Kubernetes release or test lanes to required. These will be moved to required on the 14th of May. Hope any outstanding issues with the lanes will have to be resolved by then. I believe we'll be raising it in the CI meeting early next week. But there could be still some outstanding issues with the SIG compute and SIG storage lanes there. So we'll be reaching out to the relevant SIGs on those. Following that, then a week later, the V1.6 beta 0 will be released as well. Okay, and moving on from that, then we have the upcoming CFP check-in. Taking a look again, the main one is KubeCon, Cloud Native Con North America, which will be in Atlanta this year. CFP closes May 27th, so anybody targeting that conference, you've got another 20 days to get your CFP submitted. And the schedule should be announced at the end of July, so July 30th. I don't think we have any upcoming KubeVirt sessions in any conferences. I can see Daniel's one was last week in StatConf, Zap the Flakes, leveraging AI to combat flaky tests with Kinnear. So we might see a conference report on that in the mailing list at some stage soon. Okay. We still don't have anything in the agenda, so I'm just going to give it a minute for anybody here that has anything that they might want to raise in either the agenda or the open floor. Okay, we're just going to, since we have nothing in the agenda and open floor, we're just going to give a quick run through to see if there's any pull requests in the last week that need attention. From what I can see, most of them have people assigned and have reviewers, and a number of comments against any of the other PRs. So I believe there isn't any that requires immediate attention. Let's do one more page. So yeah, I think all the PRs are actually receiving attention, and that's great. There seem to be active conversations on all of them. So we're going to move on to the mailing list review. So I only added one. There was only one topic that really kind of stood out to me where there was no kind of ongoing conversation going on, and that was just the announcement from Federico that we had a minor release of the 1.5 release branch. So we've got a release of version 1.5.1, and that was released this week. So that was the only thing from the mailing list review that I could see. And I also went through the bugs as well. And again, I believe all the issues are receiving attention in the last week or two. there doesn't seem to be anything that is missing. There was one interesting one that I saw from Sig Scale, which some Sig network members might be interested in. So this one here, where the Virt controller makes a direct get call to network attachment definitions instead of being an informer get. So this looks like it's impacting some of the scale performance. So I don't know if anybody from Sig Network has seen this yet or wants to be CC'd.
You can CC me. You can CC me, yes. I think Morel raised it somewhere. And what we want here in practice is the goal is to remove it completely. The goal in dependencies. I'm not in so fan to have a uniform of it.
Okay, so I see that LA has assigned someone on this, so maybe we should let them know that we'd probably like it removed rather than get an informer. But I've CC'd you there anyway, Eddie, so you're on the issue there now anyway.
So in case anyone is interested, we only fetch the network attachment definition just to get one annotation from it, which is not really a strong dependency on the network attachment definition. And maybe we could just do it with a webhook or something and not be dependent on this object.
Yeah. So in general, what to complete oral, there is a webhook that does this already. It's not ours, but for example, for the SRV, this is how it is done. The SRV operator, whoever uses it, it is using this webhook, and that's like the standard way to reflect it to the pod. Only when this was this dependency existed at the time, but KubeVirt in the past that didn't exist yet. So this, I guess, that's why it was added here. But there is work to be done in the sense of how to remove it in a way that, and how to make sure that things are deployed instead of it. That's something that we still need to take care of. But if we are at this, I think already maybe you can share that that may interest some people here, that there was contribution from the community about something similar to this, like not this exactly, but the fact that we have comparison. We have like I think in many places in the code we have deep equal or semantic deep equal, something like that, and it was found that some of the calculated spec or status that are done in the code are on lists. So the lists are ordered, and when they are calculated, some calculation are some generated spec or status are coming from iterating over dicts, for example, over maps, and that causes this list to every time to be a little different in the order, and the equality always fails, and then we are just in a tight reconciliation in the loop, updating the API, and we are even reconciling internally all the time. It's like a lot of waste of CPU and API access. So I think I saw at least two areas, right? Or and you can share it with.
Yes, but how is it related to this?
Because they are at scale, so they are concerned about accessing the API once per VM, and this is accessing the API 20 million times per VM. So that's the relation. Like I think it just comes together. I don't know. It just reminded me that this is like very minor to compare to what was found there.
Yeah, we were bombarding the API when VMs had several SRI or VNICs, and probably we're also bombarding the API when there are several regular Nix as well.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Yeah, so that's all that I could dig up from the bug scripts. That I found that bug quite interesting. And regarding fakey test fixes, I don't believe we have any test fixes this week either. So if anybody has anything else they'd like to discuss before we close out this call, we have a few minutes. Please feel free.
Maybe one thing to mention is that I think we mentioned it otherwise. So we reached the web freeze. So basically, we have a list of enhancements that we're considering for this release. And now, I mean, we need to focus our review on the review bandwidth on PRs that are tied to these webs. And one of the things that we've discussed is how to get a list of webs, and currently we don't have a good way, and it's really on the authors of the PRs to kind of advertise their PRs and say that this is related to already approved web, and ask for reviews. And but we also discussed the label, which I'm not entirely sure at the moment how that label will work. But essentially, someone or something needs to place this label on every PR that is tied to a web, and perhaps we could come up with some kind of a clever automation. But yeah, at the moment we don't have that. So the best way, I think, to track those, or actually to verify that a web is a PR is related to an approved web is basically to go through a tracker, and we have a tracker for this current release, and I just want to post a link for those who are not familiar with it. So this tracker basically lists all the enhancements. So these are issues, and then if you click on the and it says which ones has been already accepted and those that are being tracked. And if you click on one of them, then it should hold a reference to the enhancement, but it also suppose to list that all the PRs that are tied to this. So at the moment, it's not very well organized, and we kind of need to find a better way to do it. Yeah, that's all for me.
Yeah, that was my question actually when you mentioned it. I was wondering, do we have a list? So these are the list of the approved ones for the next release. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. So it says those that says tracked. So these are the one that we're tracking for that current release, and then it's kind of difficult to generate a list of PRs that are associated to each one of these. So it's
okay, and they all have assignees as well, which is great.
yeah.
Radik,
Yes.
it's a good opportunity to ask you. So the last one, I think it was also approved, right? Because it's a bit vague. I thought it was approved.
So the last one, I think it's actually the web itself doesn't exist, right? I mean, it's something that
It's an issue, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, from my point of view, we reached a different decision there, right? That we will reuse a directory.
Yes, but but the web was, so it is odd. Yes, it was a very odd situation that this is the tracker. So the web itself was from the old style, and it was focused on a specific plugin that the contributor wanted to have. and he asked for us for review and guidance. And from that thing, they just said what they need, and now we have like an action item in the core to just improve the existing.
So you're
Order,
basically
but
asking
yes.
why is this not in the tracked status?
No, so I'm saying, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. It's like very hard. Like, does it merit a web? I think you yourself said that it's very odd that we like not odd, but that some of the webs are not really directly related to KubeVirt, but are related to other things, or maybe to the org itself. So I don't know how to.
No, I think in
Make
this
it.
case, I mean, we don't have anything to really approve. Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
So from your point of view, this work is being tracked for this release. So you can just change the status from like a network perspective. This work is being tracked, and then when a new PR appears that is related to this, then it's supposedly prioritized.
Okay. Makes sense. Thanks.
Sure.
Okay, great. Thanks, Thanks, Eddie.
Sure.
So with that, I think we can close. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.